welcome. This is Rooflemonger, and my friends, Morty of Rick and Morty fame is now out for MultiVersus, and I figured I'd give you an overview of what he's all about. Morty's pretty different. Even just in his animations, like him crouching is him just going into fetal position. His walkling, definitely something else to say the least. He's really cool. I kind of dig him. But he's definitely an oddball. So that said here, let's just go over what he can do. So we'll just break it down, his basic attacks, his specials, and then go a little bit more in depth because they all kind of work together in some fun ways. So first, basic attacks. So Morty, he's sort of a zoner in a way. He has his ray gun. And now, I know it looks like a basic shot, and if it was just that, that would be something, but it's not just that, as snakes. So when the attack doesn't connect fully, what happens is it'll just go to its distance and explode off into two different snakes. And those snakes, one travels upwards, one travels downward. So Morty is really good at space control. Now, when it's off cooldown, it just becomes like basically like a pea shooter, right? So it's still decent. Like it gets some decent percent damage in, right? It doesn't quite go full screen or nothing. That's about the end of its effective range. Up attack, much the same deal. Also, the projectiles do bounce off a lot of the terrain. So if you're looking to be all tricky, it's a really good way to do it. Up attack, much the same deal here. When the cooldown is off, if the projectile does not hit, splits off into two snakes and they just go in the opposite directions. So it's just a really cool way to control space, and zoning in MultiVersus is fairly effective as it stands. So watch out for Morty. He could be a threat. Now, when it comes to that, that's a neutral attack and that's up attack. How about side attack? So side attack is when he gets all muscled out, and that is a theme that will go through a few moves, right? This is just basic, just attack strings, and it is a true string as long as you're close enough. If your hitbox is a little off here, you're not connecting, as you see here, there is just a chance to dodge out. But if you do it correctly, which is hard, it is a true combo. Now, the first two hits are pretty much always guaranteed. Don't worry about that. That will always be a true combo. The third hit's a big maybe. But then again, one of the traits helps alleviate that, and we'll talk about that in a bit. That's side attack, down attack. Well, then we bust out our Plumbus. So Plumbus, you get that flea juice all over the floor, and every time you hit someone with a Plumbus, it applies one stack of weakened. Also, if you go through your ally, it'll cleanse whatever debuffs they have. So it's active as long as you keep holding the button. So if you're just looking to just ride through people that aren't paying attention, it'll be very effective at that. And that's about the long and short of it. Now for aerial attacks, air neutral. Explosion with snakes, as we gone over here. So if your cooldown is off, the snakes will spawn. If it is not off, then it'll be just a weaker projectile. But still, a valuable enough projectile. Now, his up attack is a big flame fist. Now here's the thing about this. It does apply ignite. So it's not a particularly long-lasting ignite, but it is there, so free extra damage over time. And as far as like the hitbox goes, it's straight up, no tricks, no gimmicks. So if your aim is good, you can chase people up above you. It should work out just fine. Air side attack. This is a big old axe. So hitbox is really good. As you can see here, if you kind of get it, he can hit you with the back of the axe. It's a chargeable attack, so you can charge it for more damage. And it is 2 attacks. So you're allowed a second swing if you go for it. So overall, this decent. Also good for combos, and we'll go some light combo theory at the end of the video. There's a timestamp, I'm sure. And now, jump down attack. So busting out the big Mega Morty arm here. And one thing here is it forces a ground bounce. Now, since it forces a ground bounce, it means for the most part, this is going to be like one of your combo fodder moves. Because you'll pretty much always be able to get some kind of follow-up as long as you connect it. Because, once again, it forces the ground bounce. So they're just hopeless and you can do whatever you want. It's a little slow, but, you know, it's exactly what it looks like. Not too much else to say than that. Now, specials. Neutral special is grenade toss. And Morty can toss up to 3 of these before he has to recharge. And, well, it's exactly what you think. They're grenades and they explode. And there's quite a bit that interacts with grenades, and we'll go over that in its own section. But suffice to say, this grenade by itself, you can cook them. You can angle them however you want. They can bounce a little bit. You can knock them around with all sorts of various moves. They can just juggle around the battlefield, and until the section that's dedicated to grenades, that's about it. But all in all, it's pretty decent. And yes, as you saw right there, the grenade can hit besides the explosion itself. The explosion does more damage, yes, but it will work as a functional projectile. So who here are fans of Mortal Kombat? So like Tremor, Garrus. Yo, Morty's your lad here. So his side special, you basically got some geomancy going on here, and you can control a spike. So whenever you let go, that's when it comes out, but you have a fair amount of control over it, although it's not forever. And yeah, you can spike people, and as you see right there, if you connect, it does apply 2 stacks of weaken, so that's not nothing. Now naturally you can only have 5 max, right? But if you don't want to commit, Morty's a master of range, and this is exactly a 0 commitment move for the most part if their opponents are otherwise engaged at doing something else. Now his up special, his recovery. Oh no, I burned both of my jumps. I'm over here, what am I going to do? Oh. Okay, that works out. What's going on here? So his up special summons the ship from the show and just becomes another active platform. And like all platforms, if you're above the screen, you'll die, right? But yeah. And yes, it will bring up enemies as well. And it's just, as long as it's not on cooldown, you are not getting ringed out, basically. Now, the cooldown, because it's so strong, it's a whole nother platform added to the match, right? The cooldown is pretty decently significant, so watch out for that, I guess. But as a singleton, as a move in and of itself, lots of value, to say the least. And speaking of value, let's talk down special. So down special creates a teleport point. And after a few seconds, well, you return to it. And you get some healing. And you might notice here, there's a grenade. So wherever you were, when you teleport back, you'll get the healing at the original destination, and you'll leave a grenade at wherever you were. So that's pretty tricksy. And naturally, yes, of course, say things aren't going your way. Woo! You'll go all the way back. And you can choose when to trigger it. So you can trigger it right away if you want. If you're in that situation where you're coming off, oh, trigger it again, and just rip yourself back to the stage. Very handy. And also, so 1, it heals you. Good. Leaves a grenade. Great. And on the return vector, if your enemy happens to be in the way, they will get absolutely bopped on the way there. So very, very, very versatile move, say the least. So specials in the air, once again, it's more grenade tosses. And yes, you can still cook them. Yes, you can still angle them whatever direction you want. They maintain all that utility. Now, his side special is a bit different. It says like, oh, sort of like Superman, right? Have like the aiming reticule, right? Not quite. So it's basically a teleport move. Now, while you're holding it, because it is holdable, Morty actually has armor while he's holding it. And he'll do his best to go to wherever, you know, that reticule is you aim it. So when it comes to like recovery stuff, like once again here, he stays perfectly still. He doesn't fall. He can call the ship. Like, it's going to be hard to get this guy off the stage for sure. Now, also, the door that you leave on the stage here, it also turbocharges projectiles, as you can see here. So any projectile that goes through it is going to get wickedly faster. So it just kind of creates another little area for you to like outskill the enemy. Now, one thing to note here, the original door, while it does all this great stuff, it does have a cooldown. Now, the actual move itself, you can do pretty much as you want. But the actual like door that creates like the super projectiles, that's on the cooldown you can see here below. So you only get to do that once in a bit. It would not be fair if you could spam that. Jump down special, much like before here, it's a little warpy bory, and now that you can do it anywhere, ground or air, that's really handy, honestly. And air up special, same as before here, summons the ship, comes another platform, you can work with it as you will. Okay, now just to go back to the grenades really quick, because you can chuck them, you can hold them, throw them, all that kind of stuff, bounce them around. One thing here is when you have a live grenade on the ground, whenever you do your basic neutral shot, it'll actually aim towards that grenade. So if it's on the ground, normally he shoots straight, right? If it's on the ground, then it aims it on the ground. If it happens to be, say, up in the air, he'll shoot up in the air. And he'll do his best to hit the fireball, or rather the grenade, right? and kind of go from there. And if you happen to have multiple grenades, it'll try to hit all of them. So interesting zoning techniques can be done from this. Any grenade on the ground, when you do your tremor ground spike here, it just splits the grenade. So if you have like literally 2 grenades, then that'll become 4 grenades. Like, you're definitely like aiming. This is something the enemy will almost certainly want to avoid for sure. But yeah, you can literally double the amount of grenades you have if you split them in half with your ground spike. That is also very interesting. This might not be live on the live build just yet, but one thing about Morty too, if he touches the enemy, or rather a partner, you just give them a grenade, and whenever they attack, they shoot the grenade. So there's just more and more grenades. Also, gives a little bit of passive health here. So if I walk in, boom, 6 gray health on top of having a grenade. And I don't gotta do anything special. I don't gotta like create a field for them to pass, or I just touch them, right? That's it. And that's about it. Like, so pretty decent as far as I'm concerned, honestly. That's good teamwork. As for his character unique passive, so one here we have Hammer Morty. So this affects your forward attack, attack, attack. So now the third hit basically spins way more than it does before. So if they're dodge happy, for example, here we set the enemy to dodge. As we went over, it can be a true combo, but you kind of have to have the perfect spacing. But with this equipped here, if it is a true combo, they eat multiple hits. That's great. And if it's not a true combo, well, they're just going to wind up dodging into getting hit anyways, right? So if you're a little sloppy, you know, you want to mash a little bit. We all want to mash a little bit sometimes, right? I think that one's pretty decent. The second one here, extra Fleeb Juice. Morty's Plumbus leaves the floor extra squeaky. And I'm not going to lie to you, I have literally no idea what this means. This does not up the damage. They don't stack any more weaken, or rather, don't give any more weaken stacks. Please post in the comments if you know. I messed around with this for a while. I cannot make hide nor hair of this. Extra Fleeb Juice sounds funny. That's about it. And our final one here, simply put here, the grenades. The explosion radius of the grenade is based on their cook duration. So the more you cook them, the bigger the explosion. Simple as that. Just more valuable grenades, as long as you cook them enough, right? That's about it. Just more space control. You're going to toss a lot of grenades. Well, you should be as Morty anyways, right? And just work from there. And finally, just to give some basic combo theory, stuff like side attack goes right into down attack here, the Fleeb, the Plumbus, whatever it is, right? And from there, this forces a little bit of a stun state. So I can just go into like neutral special my gunshot. And neutral special is jump cancelable. So it has all the fun stuff you think you can get from that. So there you go, pretty basic combo. So that was forward attack into the Plumbus, neutral shot, and then jump cancel the neutral shot immediately into air down attack, into air up attack. So about high 20s, and I'll leave them with the ignite debuff. So about solid 30% off a basic hit, not too bad. Also, jump side attack here, the axe. So the axe also creates a decent bounce here, as you can see here. So from there, you can just kind of follow up like you think you would. Kind of the exact same combo, but it's just a good idea, right? So you can cancel the base attack into a shot, and the shot will, just like the other combo, just kind of leave them a high hit stun state. And from there, you just combo out. Easy peasy. Might have to work on the spacing a little bit. And obviously this is day one of Morty. I'm sure it'll be like super advanced combos. This is just enough to help you understand what to go for. So side attack's a good combo starter. The jump axe is a good combo starter. Just anything that lets you just go in the neutral gunshot will let you get some decent damage in. And that's Morty. So being a platform fighter, you know, you don't quite have expansive move sets like, you know, more traditional fighters. But even then, Morty is definitely incredibly unique compared to the rest of the cast. Obviously has a whole wackadoodle of projectiles, a lot of weird movement other characters simply do not get. It's pretty interesting. I dig him. If he's this inventive, I'm looking forward to seeing how Rick will work. But in the end, my friends, well, that is your overview on how Morty plays in MultiVersus. So hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you want to. That'd be great. Otherwise, though, we're at the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some MultiVersus.
is the love making. This is the love making.